Andrew Jackson is one of the most controversial figures in American history, and he had a lot of enemies. Henry Clay, Nicholas Biddle, and his own vice president, John C. Calhoun. In fact, Calhoun's views almost caused the Civil War 30 years early. How? In 1828, two important things happened. Andrew Jackson was elected, and a tariff was created which seemed to favor northern merchants from a southern perspective. It was thus nicknamed the Tariff of Abominations, and the most vocal southern state, South Carolina, decided to take action. Using the earlier Kentucky and Virginia resolutions penned by Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, they declared that states could nullify federal laws if they deemed them unconstitutional. This was in clear violation of the Supremacy Clause of the Constitution, which states that federal law trumps state law. However, the South knew that laws only mattered if they were enforced. The other states watched South Carolina to decide what they should do as the crisis came to a head. The issue extended much farther than it may seem. If the precedent was set that a state could nullify federal laws, then what authority would the government have over the states? The United States would become a jumbled confederation of bickering states, as it had been under the Articles of Confederation, and Europe would be sure to take advantage. Jackson, ever the pragmatist, would not let this happen. While often an enigma, one thing that was clear about Old Hickory was his unionism. Although nominally a man of the people, Jackson took decisive action by pushing a force bill through Congress, allowing him to send troops to South Carolina. Fortunately, this did not become necessary as a compromise was achieved and the state backed down. The can of states' rights versus the federal government was kicked down the road once again, to return with a vengeance in 1860. But how did Calhoun fit into all this? In those days, one state mattered more than their country, and Calhoun was from South Carolina, so he sided with the nullifiers. He ultimately became the first vice president out of only two total to resign in U.S. history at the end of 1832. Jackson was re-elected and continued to go back and forth on how powerful the federal government should really be.